Yeah. Okay, so Ellen White was like the prophet and stuff.
Ellen White.
Church.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
Folks, here, if you're wondering like if someone's really a prophet, if they have like an Anglo first and last name, like Ellen White or John Smith or whatever, Joseph Smith, Ellen White, chances are that's not a real prophet, okay? Because prophets usually have names like Yeshayahu, right? Or Yechezkel, or
Muhammad.
Get out of here. Or, you know, they usually have names like just they have over the top Jewy names, okay, and you can't pronounce them, and they're in Hebrew, okay, like Ovadia and Zephaniah, right? Someone comes along and they go, "Hi, I'm a prophet. I'm Ellen White, Joe Smith, Bill Williams. I'm Prophet Bill Williams." Chances are they're not at the level of Yechezkel. Okay, so that's just something. That's your first clue that we've entered into a falsehood. Okay, so just go ahead from there. Just wanted to get that out there.
Okay, so I was taught that she would get these revelations from God and that her books were inspired by God. And then I grew up, when I was a teenager, I found that she like rampantly plagiarized other people's works and not given credit for it. And also that all her visions, she supposedly had all these visions from God. They always came after the church had decided some important piece of doctrine. And then she would have a vision shortly thereafter confirming whatever the church decided. So, like, so I have that. So now I'm into Alexander technique.
Okay.
And there's like a foundational story of Alexander.
And his name is what, Alexander?
Frederick Matthias Alexander.
Frederick, okay, again, here we're going into like the Frederick, we're going into the Anglo names. Is he a prophet?
No.
Oh, okay, forget it.
So he was a reciter in Sydney, Australia, and he was born in 1869, and in 1892 he started having voice trouble. And when he would try to speak in front of a loud hall where there was no PA system, and it was filled with rowdy tin miners, Australians can be pretty rowdy, he would try to project his voice to fill the hall, and the more he would strain, the more damage he would do to his voice, and he'd tend to lose his voice a lot. So this is the story that almost every Alexander technique teacher learns to tell, and the story goes as thus. Alexander would go around to different doctors with his voice trouble, and they weren't able to help him. So finally one doctor says, "Why don't you just rest your voice for 2 weeks and then try to perform?" So Alexander rested his voice for 2 weeks, got up to recite, and halfway through he lost his voice once again.
Okay.
So he had one clue to what was going on, according to this story. That is that his friends would hear him gasping for breath
Oh, yeah.
when he was reciting.
I'm listening to you. I'm just getting one of these.
Okay. So, according to this story, he sat himself down in a room in front of this triptych mirrors. That's like mirrors that show all the way around, so you can see what you're doing. And he noticed that as he would get up to recite, he would tip his head back, compress his neck, hunch his shoulders, and his feet would grip the floor, and his whole torso would tighten and compress.
Okay.
And so as he learned to let go of that and to instead think his directions, then he was able to speak and to recite without losing his voice. Now, from a historical, scholastic, academic point of view, that didn't happen. According to this one, the one historical look at F.M. Alexander by an academic historian is called The First 43 Years of the Life of F. Matthias Alexander by a guy in Holland, Jerome Staring. And he makes the point that instead what happened is that FM went to various voice teachers and learned from them, and he combined what he learned from various voice teachers with what he read in various books on voice production, and then he assimilated that knowledge and he started teaching others. So here once again I have like the leader of my group like found out to be this tremendous plagiarizer, because F.M. Alexander wrote 4 major books, and even in all his articles he never credited other people for his ideas. He never credited anyone else for any good idea. It was always, I came up with this. So I think the technique works. I'm not sure to what extent he made any original discoveries, but he was able to cull good ideas from other people, put his name on it, and sell it. And now I am teaching what is called the Alexander technique. But
can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What does it have to do with the lead-in about how some groups have their own prophets? What does that have to do with it?
Well, FM was the leader of this group, and he plagiarized his essential ideas, just like Ellen White plagiarized her stuff. So she had a whole church, and it developed from her teachings, thinking that she had these original genius insights. Instead, she was just taking them from other people and not giving credit. The Alexander teachers typically regard F.M. Alexander as having these original insights of genius into how the human being works. And then they teach this story that I was just telling you, that while all the doctors couldn't figure it out, F.M. Alexander was able to figure it out. He had these original insights of genius. Well, it turns out F.M. did not have these original insights of genius. He just culled them from other people around him, and he was just more successful at packaging and selling them to the world. And similar with Ellen White, in the religion which I was raised,
it's like with you, like on your blog, you don't have anything interesting or new to say, but you have the links to things, and you post the links to things who are interesting. So you're like a portal to things that are interesting. Everybody goes, "Oh, Luke, you're the savior of our generation." But the truth but the truth is, all you're doing is posting links. That's what they confuse. That's what they confuse.
Right. They think I'm a prophet.
Right.
They think I'm a moral leader.
Right.
And I'm just a blogger posting links.
Right.